I'm not sure if I can get the YouTube comments though, because for the Patreon live streams, the tier I'm in doesn't get access to those links.
Okay. Oh, that's right. This shit is on. Well, I could just text you the fucking thing.
That's true.
I think we're live right now, by the way.
Awesome.
Okay. What's cracking? What's cracking? This is going to be messy. This is our first Q&Assault Saturday of the off season. Noah's back in my fucking dojo. It's been a while since we've got on a pod together.
I graduated from the bandana to the headband to the hat to glasses. It's wild now.
You've lived many lifetimes since the last time we got on together. It's been a pleasure to watch you grow from a little girl into a little boy.
To a slightly bigger girl, yeah.
All right, so basically every Saturday, as we did through the regular season, we're going to come on here and you're going to assault us with questions and anything that's related to, probably your dynasty team at this point in the season, trades, rookie picks, rookie profiles. Noah, how deep are you into rookie profiles?
I think I got my 8th one done today. I've been doing like the lower end guys because I feel like the higher end guys are so boring and easy to get through because they're actually fun to watch. So I've just been doing like Anthony Schwartz and those bums. I'm like, oh, he caught one deep pass. That was cool.
Now, do you look at every player or do you only look at the players that you check off on the Dynasty Guide list?
Right now, I've just been looking at those, but I've looked at most of the top end guys as well. And that's kind of how I decide who I want to look into more. Or if I see like a thread on Twitter and I want to disprove something, I'll look into them as well.
Even if you agree with it, we're just going to find some fucking facts that don't. Yeah, I'm actually.
I love Dyami Brown, but I want to kill him at the same time.
I'm way more into the rookie prospects than I thought I would be. What's up, Sam? I'm way more into the rookie prospect. Oh, there we go. We could pop it on. Do you see that, Noah?
Yes, dude. Sam Van Clev.
What's good? All right, we're just gonna pop. That's literally the only comment we have right now, so we're gonna keep that going. We might have to open this up to the whole Discord to get some fucking juices flowing. Yeah, I'm actually way more into the rookies than I thought I would be. I've looked at basically everyone on the list. I think I'm like 30 to 35 deep. I haven't touched any quarterbacks or tight ends, but I'm ready to fucking fire off. I'm ready for Ramondre Stevenson to take over the world.
Everybody hates him because he's slow, but we know he's slow, and he was good while being slow. So I don't really care too much about that.
We'll see. Well, I mean, we'll see how slow he really is. I saw at a high school he ran a 4.64, but that was also like 5 or 6 years ago. So it's very possible he just got like fatter and slower. But
yeah,
it's also possible.
Go freshman 50.
Yeah, if he fucking runs up like a 4.58, I'd be pretty happy with that.
I think anything below like a 4.65, anything like below what James Conner or Kareem Hunt ran, he's got a pretty similar skill set. He can catch passes. He's pretty elusive. I haven't looked into like the elusiveness numbers, but watching him on the goal line, he always seems to score. So I like that part of his game as well. But I mean, if he runs 4.7, 4.8, Elijah Holyfield, welcome to the dungeon.
Be out. Yeah, I was looking at his broken tackle rate on Sports Info Solution. It's really fucking high. It's almost 30%. He was like number 6 or something in the country, like right behind Najee Harris, or might have actually been above him. That's why I'm like, people are like, oh, he's like not elusive. He's a slug. I'm like, I mean, the numbers tell you that he's making some fucking moves on the field.
Yeah, like what's the difference between him and Javonte Williams? I feel like Javonte Williams is more of a Zach Moss type than a Ramondre Stevenson because we've seen like that exact build, that exact skill set. We haven't seen a guy like Ramondre since your boy Eddie Lacy, and he did pretty well for a few seasons, so you got to pump him up a little bit.
It's such a biased piece of analysis. Like I want him to be the next Eddie Lacy so bad that I'm just going to keep saying he's Eddie Lacy. I love that comp, though. I was so pumped when I saw that.
My original comp was Carlos Hyde. I'm like, you know who else is 250 pounds? Eddie Lacy. So we're going to throw that stamp on him instead.
I feel like Carlos Hyde's like really not even that heavy. I feel like he's like low-key like 219 or something. he's like 2 pounds heavier than Alvin Kamara. He's just like kind of fat.
I actually looked at like his sports reference. It said he was 246, and I don't know how the hell they weighed him in.
Carlos Hyde?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like 6 foot 246.
There's no way that's right.
I'm going to look that up again. I'm almost positive it said that. But then again, Stevenson was like 250, and he actually weighed in at 226 or 227.
We'll see. I don't really even know what the deal is going to be with these pro days. I saw someone tweeted out that place that maybe Exos or something, that place that all of these prospects are working out at are going to basically hold an NFL combine without teams allowed to like go see them play, which is I think kind of cool. Like at least we get a little bit of the normal numbers where everyone's kind of doing the same thing at the same time, and we can get some kind of like relevancy behind what everything's doing. But like the pro days, I don't know. Like one, we need to find a good website that has like the schedule for us so we know like when the pro days are going to be. And I feel like half these fucking prospects are just not going to run like the 40 at their pro day or just drop out of a bunch of shit. And we're just going to have like this whole oh, Mike's not here. We're going to have I got friends outside yelling at me and shit. I don't know what I was saying, but I think all the prospects were just gonna have like a huge blind spot with everybody.
Yeah, also the pro days are always so scattered. In some colleges, I don't think Clemson has one scheduled. In Alabama, I'm not sure if they do as well. So I feel there's gonna be a whole lot of recency bias too. Like if Stevenson runs a 4.7 or 4.6 today, and then like 2 months down the line somebody else runs faster, you're just gonna move them up your rankings ahead of him as well. So it's gonna be a shit show. But are those gonna be laser timed or that's something else?
I have no fucking idea. I don't know how pro days work. I just assume like pro days are so fraudulent. It's like, I mean, the schools are running it themselves, so obviously they want the numbers to look a little bit better, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if
Just get
that's
the guy
actually
with
like
the
a real
fastest
thing.
hands.
All right, Mike's in the guest room. Hold on. Let me throw him in here somehow. Let's see. We're going to put that down. We are going to throw Mike in here. Guest in the green room.
Are there still comments rolling in? Because I've only ever seen Sam say something.
Michael, I don't know, actually. We might have like 4 people in here, 5 people in here. I guess.
Including us. It's just us and Sam.
We are everybody in here. Michael.
Yo, what up?
How about we show some fucking enthusiasm?
Let's woke up, son.
Bro, like show some commitment to being alive.
Just woke up. I
move over to your right a little bit.
To my right?
Yeah, to your there you go. Can you see how the thing is set up?
Yeah, I'm looking. Hold on one sec.
Okay. We're gonna open this. I don't know actually how to open this up like mid video. We're gonna open it up to the public maybe.
There might be like a link to share and you can just drop that in the general.
Oh, that's true. It's unlisted. Yeah, fuck it. We're just gonna let everybody run in here. Any of you guys have any questions before we open it up? The 6 people that are in here chilling. Besides Sam Van Cleve, huge power name. Mike, you take your dog for a walk?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Was it nice? What's the weather like over there in San Fran? Shitty?
It's like, I don't know. It's like, it started, I think it rained. It's been like raining a lot. So it's just like in the morning when you wake up, it's all groggy and shit.
Oh, that stinks, Mike. Yeah, it's only 15 degrees here. Yeah.
It's fucking brutal. All right.
How long were you in Canada? Your whole life, Mike? Until like recently?
Yeah, until like, I think like 5 years ago, probably. No, actually, I mean, I was in China for 6 years. So I was fucking born there. So not my whole life, I guess.
I didn't know you lived in China for 6 years.
Yeah, I was born there.
I never would have hired you if that was the case.
Too late, man. I'm a spy.
I know you've already taken over, big dogs. It's fucked up.
Communism.
I'm having so much trouble posting this fucking link right now. Hold on. Did
Where are you
people
trying
come
to
in?
Only Sam's watching anyways.
Here we go. We got 7. We got a comment from Sam. At all concerned. Oh, here we go. Shit. We're moving too fast now for my own good. All right. Sam asks, at all concerned about labrum surgery for T-Law? I don't think so.
No, because it's the other surgery, like the other shoulder, right?
Yeah.
And also, Dr. Jesse Morse, the god himself, said it was not a concern.
Dr. Morse.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I'll just defer to him, and I think he's a good enough prospect that if he did fuck up his shoulder, I'd still take him 1-on-1.
I feel like the timeline on that is probably like 3 to 6 months. I don't think it's a concern for anybody.
Yeah, I think they said 5 to 6. They said 5 to 6 months, but he'll be ready for the thing, so it doesn't matter.
He'll be fine. All right, we got from Nate Dog. Mock Week ADP going to be released as part of the draft guide, or can we check it out on Discord? So the original Mock Week ADP is going to be released to everybody in Discord, probably out to the public, to be honest. I think we're going to put it out at least for the first month, maybe the first 2 months. We'll release it to everybody, kind of build up some momentum for it, and then on the first of each month, we'll probably roll out new ADPs, and that might be available to just people in Discord or just Patreons or just a draft guide or something, but the first couple releases of it will definitely be available for everybody.
I think we're about 50 deep, right? And then 10 or so rookie drafts.
Yeah, I want to get that rookie draft. The problem with the rookie draft number is like most people don't know most of the rookies right now. So it's like if you or me or Mike kind of talks about a guy throughout one of the videos this other week, like I'm going to talk about Elijah Mitchell in this upcoming Tuesday video, and then he's going to end up being like a late second, early third round pick in our rookie draft. Our ADP is going to be wildly skewed for rookie drafts.
Yeah, I ignorantly put Anthony Schwartz as my wide receiver 4 as a joke, and now he's like a third round pick.
I love
this
that.
guy doesn't even really play football, and now he's getting picked. So
I'm not gonna lie, like I had like the 412 in one of the rookie mock drafts, and like I didn't really know a few of the players left. So I had just seen you fucking around and throwing Anthony Schwartz out there. So I was like, he's good enough for no. He's probably not good enough for me, but I'm gonna take him anyways.
Whenever we're lockstep on a player, it seems like they always bust. So that's a good thing. Just fade those guys, and you'll be pretty good going forward.
Would you trade
Anthony
the
Schwartz is
104?
like a poor man's. I mean, not even a poor man's. It's pretty similar to like a KJ Hamler, actually.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know
just
like
real
what
fast.
kind of value those players actually have in fantasy though. They rarely ever
Not
like
much.
hit your lineup. They're always so exciting, and you're like, oh, they can make the big play, but like you're never gonna fucking draft them, or you're never gonna play them.
Yeah.
Would you trade
probably.
the 104 and 105 for Trevor Lawrence? Yes,
Depends on the team.
I probably
guess,
would.
but that's how much it
I
costs.
would, yeah.
Assuming it's a super flex, yeah. I think it's a fair trade. Why do y'all Dyami Brown is slept on? So I'm assuming he means why do y'all think Dyami Brown is slept on? Mike has had him the highest I've seen, which I could definitely see. Thoughts on how we can translate to the NFL? How well he can translate to the NFL?
Not a surprise that his first name is also Noah here.
Well, Mike, why don't you take that away?
Look, I think he doesn't play for like a big program, right? Unless you're in the Devy scene, really, and you're like super into like Sam Howell, and you've been following this like North Carolina team going back to last year. Like that's just not a game that like people watch a lot. So that's like one big reason. And then also like I guess he's a little bit on the smaller side, but for me, like I think he's like from an analytical perspective, if you attack the draft from an analytical lens, Dyami Brown will just jump off the page. Like he'll be like one of the top prospects, and that's like kind of where I have him. I have him like top 5, I think. But yeah, like most people just don't watch North Carolina games, man. Most people just don't watch North Carolina games, man, to be honest.
Well, why is everyone so high on Javonte and Michael Carter then? Riddle me that.
I don't know. I mean, running backs, I guess.
Yeah, I just think that he's not anything, just watching him play, anything too special. I think he's my wide receiver 11 or 12. He just doesn't jump off the tape to me. I guess it's like kind of a fucking nerdy way to say it. But looking into the numbers as well, like he doesn't break a bunch of tackles. A lot of his receptions come from the deep game, and he is super fast. But also looking into his drop numbers and stuff like that, just on tape, he doesn't seem to be a guy who goes up and like attacks the ball. And I think I drew my comp to him.
He's a pussy.
A little bit. That's what
every contested catch. He makes like
way.
Great plays down the field, like really eye-popping plays down the field. A lot of the plays that are like in between 10 yards, if it's a contested catch, he's getting fucking bullied.
Yeah, I think his ceiling, as far as a comp can go, is maybe a John Brown. And even John Brown, he's had a few good seasons here or there, and he's a good player. And most of it's due to the sickle cell that held him out a while. But I just don't see a world where I'm taking him ahead of more of dynamic players like even Amari Rodgers, who doesn't have the analytical profile, but can do a lot more with the ball in his hands. I think if he gets draft capital, he's going to be used in a more versatile role than a Dyami Brown, who you kind of have to rely on the deep game.
It feels a lot like T. Higgins take 2, but I'll take it.
You'd love to hear it. Yeah, he's still a pussy. He just put up good stats. Gordon Bros Travel. Thoughts on year 2 James Robinson? Here's what I'll say. Like, I actually look at this situation very much from like a business owner's perspective. If you're running the Jaguars, you have a certain number of roles to fill in your organization. You hired someone out of community college that is performing like a Harvard college graduate. Why are you so eager to hire someone else that's more expensive for it? Like these owners, that's the way they look at these teams. There's no reason to, get that off your plate and have to reinvent the running back position when James Robinson was amazing last year. Is there a chance that they grab a free agent or like a day 3 running back? Like obviously, of course, that might happen, and James Robinson's not going to get 98% of the touches, but he can still very, very, very much be like a high-end RB2 for the next few years.
Yeah, I think people are too black and white on this one because there's a range of outcomes here, right? There's a range where they don't draft anybody meaningful, and James Robinson retains like a 90% opportunity share. Is that likely? Probably not. There's also people on the other side that are like, hey, they're going to draft Najee Harris in the first round and make him completely irrelevant. That's also
so
very
stupid.
Unlikely.
Yeah,
that's
like
also
the two
very
most
unlikely
outcomes are them going really, really draft heavy with capital on a running back, or them signing a big running back to free agency and then them not doing anything. It's going to settle somewhere in the middle and be good for James Robinson.
Yeah. And like,
if they sign someone, they're changing up like the coaching staff and all this. They're not committed to James Robinson, but then everybody wants to be in on DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault, whereas James Robinson's highs have been higher than those other guys' highs, and they just assume that he's the one to be replaced because he's at a replaceable position. So I'm a little bit higher in consensus than most because I do think he's talented, and even if he gets like a 60 to 70% snap share, he's a guy who can catch passes and dominant goal line work on an up-and-coming offense.
Yeah, if you're in a rebuild, trade him. If you're not and you're a contender, then you should grab him. That's pretty much.
He's got like a 2 to 3 year window where he can be productive for your fantasy team. I think like anything after that, you're hoping for something that's probably not there. What up, top dog? Cali dog in the house, of course. His first comment is Noah. What the fuck? Notorious. What's good? Delusional Patriots fan. Mr. Jared Hall. What's up, sexy Pats? All right, let's get some question. Thoughts on Kyle Pitts? I feel like he's a good pick because of the limited amount of tight ends. No, I've seen you gotten pretty high on Kyle Pitts. I'm still kind of staying steady with the notion that I'd rather invest in other positions in the first round of a rookie draft. I mean, I'm not. No one's going to tell you anything hot takey here about his fucking talent. I just, in terms of strategy and tight ends and dynasty, like I'm just not going to invest first round where you have to get him.
Yeah, for me, the whole point is a lot of people on Twitter have been saying, oh, he's the best tight end prospect we've seen recently, yada, 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 but then want to go and compare him to a Hawkinson, to a Noah Fant, to a David Njoku, where if he's this good and he really is that much better than every other tight end, isn't it counterintuitive to compare him to tight ends who aren't – he's going to play a different role than those tight ends like a Hawkinson. If he's going to actually be a wide receiver, why not try to get the positional advantage? And obviously he probably won't be a wide receiver and he won't be used how we all want him to be used. But the upside that is present if he does play an Evan Ingram plus type of role, I think the positional advantage, getting him at like the 110, 111, which is realistically where you can land him in non-tight end premium leagues, I think that's a big advantage. I do have him at the 105, knowing that I probably don't have to spend that type of capital to grab him either.
You probably will have to spend that to get him, if I had to guess, to be honest. I mean, I have him at like 1 point. I think I have him like after the three wide receivers or so, like after Chase and Rashad Bateman and maybe more, I think is where I have him. I think the way that I think about it is this, like, I don't think Kyle Pitts will lose value year one. It's just that because of like how much of a volume trader I am, like I'm trying to like realize gains between like now and next year. And the amount of gains that I can realize between now and next year and the year there and the year after using like constantly flipping like either wide receivers or running backs, I think is just too high for me to invest in a tight end. Because I drafted TJ Hawkinson really high. I thought he was really good. I drafted Noah Fant really high. I thought they're really good. And do I regret those trades from a perspective of losing value? No, because I haven't lost value on them. They're still good players and they've increased in value since I've drafted them. But like the amount of time I had to hold on to them while like I saw people flipping AJ Browns, DK Metcalfs, like Miles Sanders, like all these other guys, that is what like kind of gives me heartburn. Is like, yeah, like he's to me he's one of the best prospects I've ever seen, and yeah, he is probably like, you know, if you had to line him at wide receiver, he'd be like wide receiver 2. But I don't know like how the NFL is gonna adopt him. I don't know what team's gonna go to. Like, you know, what happens to the fucking Lions draft him again for whatever reason, and then he's stuck on the Lions. Like, it's just there's too many question marks, and you really got to be on a team that really focuses and like features a tight end, right? Like a Oakland Raiders, for example, and Darren Waller's there. So I just don't like waiting that long to see returns, basically. But if you want to just grab them and wait, like worst case scenario, you have like probably a good chance of hitting a really elite tight end in 2 to 3 years. It's not that bad.
Who is the Dogecoin of Dynasty?
Nick Whalen.
I think he meant a player, but
oh, sorry.
But also,
Nick
like,
Whalen.
How do you figure like Dogecoin? I feel like, you know, Nick Whalen
He's a fraud.
He ain't going to the moon.
Dogecoin's a fraud. Yeah.
How do you figure? I thought it was a good investment. I put most of my capital into it. Thoughts on that, Mike?
Did you really?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay, yeah, and it's like, dude, the coin itself is like, I mean, it's a meme coin, right? Like you're trading on memes right now. The developers.
Wait, what is the actual like asset behind a Dogecoin other than the meme?
Oh, Dogecoin, like originally, like back in the day, like it was designed to be like a really fast transaction crypto, because like Bitcoin's like a lot slower and stuff like that. So that's what Dogecoin's supposed to do. But like, you know, that was a while ago. Like the founders are gone. Like they haven't like developed on it in like forever. It's not been improved upon. It's just like it's got like a cool meme and in this like meme investment like role that people are playing. I think people are just like catching on the hype, and like you can definitely make money in the interim if you want. But like if you're the last guy holding on to it, you're gonna be fucked.
Yeah, just like every fucking stonk. Noah, I heard you invested into your first stonks the other day.
Yeah, I'm in the red pretty deep. It was only $15. I didn't know what I was doing. I went into the
$15.
Wall Street.
I'm in the red. How deep in the red could you be?
Less than $15. I went into the Wall Street Bets Discord, and I saw the first ticker that they posted. I invested into it, and right when I invested, it tanked. So I figured the stock market isn't for me.
What ticker?
I don't even fucking know. SNDL, I think. They said it was going to the moon, and they lied to me.
It's been going to the moon for the last 3 weeks. You got on the ship as everyone offboarded.
They're supposed to buy the peak, sell the dip. I was completely wrong on that. But
you're so stupid.
It's okay, dude. We got NBA Top Shot portfolios also tanking, so all things are looking good for us.
Is NBA
For
Top
sure.
Shot
Make
tanking?
$20 off Cole Anthony though.
Yeah, NBA Top Shots right now is a tough scene because every day there's just like more sellers and buyers because I think we got to get to a place where like it's like more normalized where people understand like where the value is, and the value is in like series ones and rookies and stuff like that. We're just not there yet.
It's
But
just
I'm
everyone's
still
just trying to
pretty
capitalize on the wildly quick, and it's the same thing with you're seeing with like Clubhouse. Like Clubhouse is it's a cool app right now, but people
a
are
lot of
jumping.
scammers.
People are jumping onto it as if like that's going to be the thing that grows their business, like it's YouTube or it's something like that. It's just because it's a new thing, and I understand that. Like I think it's what you have to do when you're a little bit out of it, but like when you're investing your money into these things, it's very different. Okay. Which players do you all think can be the next Antonio Gibson this year? I think it could be Jamar Jefferson, but could be wrong. The Roto Underworld dudes are like really, really, really high on Jamar Jefferson.
Yeah, he's got a size.
Anytime a prospect has the same initial first and last name, you just jump in. Like Justin Jefferson, Jerry Jeudy. You just got to go all in. I don't
Judy,
see
Jefferson,
anything.
Julio. Yeah, it's actually worked out pretty fucking well.
I like I like Jamar Jefferson the way that I liked, like Tony Pollard, right? Like you think he could be a decent like backup, right? He could be a decent committee role player. I don't see the athleticism that Antonio Gibson had though. I mean, he's not on that type of level, and I'm not just saying that revisionist history. If you go back to like Nick, Noah, or our videos from like February last year, like we were big on Antonio Gibson before the combine, and I think what's happening here is look, this running back class fucking stinks. That there's no way around that. It's going to be
so
awful.
heavily weighted onto like the draft capital and the landing spots for these.
Yeah, it's awful. It's going to be like 2019 when people are reaching up in the late first, early second for fucking Devin Singletary, and you just don't want to be in that position. I'm just going to be drafting wide receivers like from basically picks like 1.08 to like 2.10. I have 0 running backs ranked in that range. So all the guys drafting Tevin Coleman 2.0 and Truba Hubbard, Jamar Jefferson, like all these guys, I just don't have any interest.
Yeah, I think if there were to be an Antonio Gibson this year, it doesn't even have to be a running back. I think at receiver, Tamari and Terry. Nice, I like that. He's a little bit lower in my rankings just because I feel like the team didn't use him correctly. Like how Memphis didn't use him correctly either.
Also, dude, like 2020, I was diving into Terry. He came into the year with like a bad knee injury, and after 3 or 4 games, he had to get surgery on it. So like most of the counting stats can be thrown right out the fucking window. If you go back to 2019, like he was a fucking boss. Like I think people are overreacting. They're like, oh, his hips aren't fucking agile. I'm like, dude, he's just a baller on the outside.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Or I was a super big fan of Tamari and Terry. I think I had him in like my top 10, maybe even higher. I think someone told me on the inside there was some like pretty big character issues there. Not like beat your girlfriend type of character issues, but like lazy. Like lazy.
Yeah, the ones that the NFL cares about, being lazy, not beating your girlfriend.
Yeah, like Josh Gordon-esque, but like the physical talent is insane. So depending on where he goes, like I don't think I'm gonna spend like a mid-second on him, but if he's like there in the late second, early third, I think that's a pretty smash pick for me.
He'll end up dropping in the NFL draft, I think, because of those concerns. He'll probably be somewhere in like the 4th round to 6th round, and then that's gonna move him down Dynasty drafts. But if you're taking flyers 3rd, 4th round, I mean, he's exactly what you're looking for.
Yep, exactly.
Did Noah steal Nick's glasses? No, are those blue light?
They are. Mike thought they were Felix Grays, but they're actually $8 from Amazon, and it came in a 2-pack, so they're about $4. So my head still hurts when I wear them.
They're actually, I was about to say, they're not actually probably blocking blue light.
No, not at all.
We did get a little sponsorship deal with Felix Gray. So when we drop it, I have to do a video for them this month. So when we drop it, I'll grab you a pair of Felix Grays, and we can actually get you looking like me.
When I was in banking, like there was a period where like everybody got Felix Grays because our firm was expensing them, and everybody fucking wore Felix Grays, and it was the most absurd thing ever. I fucking hated it.
That's funny as hell. Yeah, I'd be so pissed. Like I love Felix Gray. Like I really, really think they're effective. But like once everybody starts getting onto it, now it's like, we all look like fucking nerds. How to not be a shitty new Dynasty commissioner? Well, one thing, make sure you do your research before you get in and know what you don't just jump in and then start changing the settings fucking left and right as in the first weekend of being a commissioner. So I would do your research. What else you got there, Mike?
Right bylaws, man. That's I mean the most annoying thing is you go into a league. Like I'm in leagues with like Nick and stuff, and it's fine because we all know each other. But like if you're joining like a league with a bunch of strangers, like people are gonna disagree on shit. You're not gonna count for everything, right? But as long as you have it written down in the bylaws and you have something to point to and say, look, you guys fucking agreed to it. If you didn't read it, it's not my problem. That's like that'll settle like probably 95% of your problems if you just draft in the bylaws. If you want to sample, just hop into the Discord. I have my sample bylaws in there for that we use that Noah and I use for the BBB listener league. So just take that, tailor it to whatever you want to do. And then the other part is just like, like stay active, man. Like I try to, as a commissioner, I try to like send out like trades. I try to kick off like the trade avalanche. And once one person makes a trade, you'll kind of start seeing other people hopping on and stuff like that. So that's kind of how you kind of get active. And then if you're someone that's like trying to like start one like fresh yourself, like as your first one, I would like just ask a couple questions, when you're recruiting league mates. Don't just take anyone, because if you have like a bunch of shitty league mates, it's not going to be fun for you. Ask them. I ask like, hey, how many leagues are you in? Are you new to Dynasty? And this doesn't preclude them from joining the league. But like if someone's like, yeah, I'm in 50 leagues, I'm like, it's probably like not for you, right? Because we're like a bunch of new timers and we want to like stay active. So just like do your due diligence on the front end for recruiting guys, so that because once they join and pay up, you can't really do much about it.
Yeah, I would say just don't veto trades unless Scott is in your league, and then veto all of his trades. That'll just keep the league together for a long time.
Yeah, just make sure, just understand that going into it, like it's exciting up front and there's a lot of energy when the shit gets started. But over the long term, as soon as teams start, doing shitty, there's going to be turnover. So I would try to set something up in the beginning where it's preventative to stuff like that happening. Whether it's like, paying with something that we always do is pay half of next year on the first buy-in. So if the buy-in for the league is 100, make sure everyone has to pay 150, which is 50 for next year, which incentivizes them obviously to come back. We also do in some of the leagues, it's like you're not allowed to pay for future, or you're not allowed to trade for or 2 future picks unless you're paid in for that year, because obviously you pay in for 1 year, trade picks in 2024, and then before you know, like you want to bounce after the year, and that kind of fucks up the entire league.
Yeah. Also, you can try like a rolling pot. So what we do in BBB and what I've done across my leagues is I'll be like, 10%, 20% of the pot goes into a rolling pot, and the first person to win 3 times in the league gets that pot. So that's like a built-in mechanism. People that want to stay.
Let's see. Championship. What are your guys' thoughts on Zeke? Michael asks, am I keeping Zeke?
Yeah, you're not really selling him. I mean, you're not gonna get like you're probably not gonna get like a mid-round first for him these days. Like people hate on him too much. Like hopefully Dak's coming back, unless Jared World fucks that up, which he might. But I mean, I don't think this is a good time to sell unless you're still getting like literally name value for Zeke. If you're getting like, these are guys that I would rather have. I'd rather have like maybe an Antonio Gibson, DeAndre Swift, obviously, J.K. Dobbins, like Cam Akers. If you can get a couple of those guys for him, sure. But don't go trading him for like, I've seen people ask me, should I trade Zeke for like the 1.10? I'm like, nah, don't do that. That doesn't.
Yeah, what you can get for him is lower than the practical use you'll have for him on your fantasy team for the next like year or two. So I mean, his production is going to be, maybe he's not the same Zeke, but it'll still give you low end RB1 production, and that's tough to find in just like late round of the rookie drafts or just some wide receiver too. And you always want the value of running back over wide receiver, if all things equal in terms of like rankings.
Yeah, he's like the Julio Jones of running backs, where the value you're going to get in return isn't going to equal the value of the production he's going to give you for these next few years. Even if he does look washed, I mean, you don't have to be great to produce in that Dallas Cowboys offense. He was catching like 8 passes for 30 yards when Dak was there. If that happens again this season, early on, I'm assuming they're keeping everybody around, because I think you can write a lot of the struggles in that offense to their offensive line and the fact that Dak got hurt. I think they're going to revert to at least like 80% of what they were last year, and he was basically a top 4 or 5 running back over that span when Dak was on the field.
Sell the house for Zeke. Sell
You heard it here first.
What else we got here? I'm having so much trouble with Ecamm Live. Is just crazy with the number of fucking tabs it has open all the time. And if you don't close them before you start doing something, it's like all hell broke loose. You're fucked. There's no coming back from that.
I see somebody talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown. Is he the same guy that was saying he's the next Terry McLaurin or the next Jerry Rice or something? There's somebody in the Discord going crazy about him.
Amon-Ra, severely underrated in my opinion. Dude's a baller and will value in your rookie draft seeing where he's going. So yeah, I mean, my initial Amon-Ra St. Brown take was like, I'm not in love with him. I get like the analytics like him. I thought when he went to play on the outside this year, his junior year, he struggled a little bit. I think my comp for him was Jamison Crowder, where I think that he can be the focal point of an offense if that offense like doesn't actually have a focal point of their passing game. Like he's good enough to do that. Otherwise, I think he's kind of a slot receiver where I think his upside is a little bit capped.
For me, he reminds me a little bit of Jarvis Landry, because he is a little bit of a bigger body type of guy who can win after the catch and he can win at the catch point. But as you said, I don't see him ever being a wide receiver 1 unless he was thrown into like the Baltimore Ravens offense where I could be the wide receiver 1. So I don't think he's ever going to challenge top 12, top 24 wide receiver type of upside. but he could be one of those guys that, like, on a point per game basis is a top 36 guy, and you can have some faith putting him in your flex spot. But again, he's a little bit capped. But what does give me hope is he's the originator of those Just Bombs productions, the coldest wide receiver you've never heard about coming out of high school, even though he's the #1 prospect. Like, I have heard of him. But that does give me a little bit of hope that some people knew about his name in high school.
Yeah, I mean, analytically, he's all right. He's not fantastic. He's no Dyami Brown, in my opinion. I mean, he's like a poor man's Juju Smith-Schuster is how I would describe him.
Yeah. He broke out really, really early, no?
Yeah, he broke out really early, but he just never really peaked. Like as he went along, it was like his age adjusted just doesn't look as good as like some of the better guys.
Yeah, that's the way I felt too. Like I don't know. He looked good early on and then never progressed to be like, oh, an elite prospect because he got better and better and better. Ben asks, who do you guys think is the best shot in the dark at running back next year? For example, Rashad Penny, because Chris Carson may be gone. I mean, like that's the kind of stuff you got to look at, like what free agent running backs are in the market. You know, Aaron Jones might be gone. Chris Carson might be gone. Kenyon Drake might be gone. James Conner. So I think, like, you know, you look at those, like even a guy that I liked last year, Anthony McFarland, I think he'll get more run this year. Obviously, I think they like Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of ran that duo back there. But there are a lot of free agent spots opening up because starters are leaving in free agency this year.
Yeah, it's not a sexy pick, but Damian Harris, he's a little bit more expensive than the guys that you just named. But Burkhead and James White are both free agents. James White is like written in stone to go to Tampa Bay because he wants another ring. Rex Burkhead, even if he does come back, is probably already on the IR. So I don't think he's going to be a 3-down back, but I definitely think he's better than Sony Michel. That offense does suck, but I can see them easily picking up a quarterback either in the draft or through free agency. Definitely not Cam Newton. That offense just can't get much worse than it was last year, and he looked pretty good when he was out there. So if he can stay healthy for a full 16, I don't see how his value can tank from where it is right now.
I think Chase Edmonds is a good one.
Just going to say
I don't think Kenyon Drake's going to be around, and I don't think Chase Edmonds is like a starting workhorse either, but he's pretty efficient with his touches, and he's like that type of guy where I could see him like going from like scat back role to like committee role, like a poor man's Austin Eckler, and that's not an insult because Austin Eckler is fucking awesome. So I think that's what Chase Edmonds could be.
Hey, Scott, we're going to have to ban you if you don't calm yourself down in the comment section, all right? Not everybody can go to the moon. Not all the trades were good for both sides. Stop asking people to send trades. You're banned. You're fired.
Scott asked, is Wentz a top 8 quarterback again on the Colts? Okay, now we can officially ban him because that's the most egregious things I've ever heard.
Banned.
How do you see where the questions are? I don't see anything.
You probably have to go on YouTube.
Yeah, Nick opened it up to everybody so you can go on YouTube.
Unless, wait, can you guys don't see it when I throw the comments on the screen within?
No, we do, but we don't see them. We don't see all of them. We just see the ones that you throw up whenever you throw them up.
Oh, the one on the thing. I see it on the right. Gotcha.
That was the wrong one. Didn't mean to. Haven't seen the three boys on a stream in a while. Good to see it. Yeah, we're gonna try to do Q&Assault. Put that on. The fucking
the gun show. You want to see the gun show?
Yeah, we're gonna try to do a Q&Assault every Saturday. I will probably lead them, and if they can jump in, they don't have to be here every time. But we'll try to make it more dynasty focused. I honestly didn't think I would be in tune with the rookies enough to be able to run the stream by myself, but I've been putting in the fucking work. So Mike, don't need you, buddy. You're out. Go walk that dog.
All right, peace.
Most underrated second-year prospect, Andy Moss asks. This is such a good year because there's so many. This is a good year to buy second-year prospects because so many of them blew up that you don't think of.
Yeah.
I think the hot name out there right now is Denzel Mims, and I think that's a fantastic one. He'll get a new quarterback. He's still obviously super athletic. He dealt with injuries most of the year, so I kind of want to write off the raw stats that he put up. So Denzel Mims. In terms of the running backs, man, I think the good ones broke out, and you can't really buy them at this point.
Yeah, I'll also say Jerry Jeudy too. He quietly had like 850 yards, and I know that's kind of a disappointment as to where you thought he was going to go. But the list of rookie wide receivers who have done that since I think 2010. All right, I have the tweet up here. 21-year-old receivers to top 850 receiving yards since 2000. Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, Juju, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Watkins, Mike Evans, T. Higgins, and Jeudy. So it's a pretty short list, and the fact that he did hit that while playing with fucking Kendall Hinton, Drew Lock, I think Brandon Allen. I don't even know who that.
He also did it without Cortland Sutton, and Noah Fant was banged up for a lot of the year too. It's going to be it's weird that situation. I don't know if you could really buy Jeudy though, because if you think about it, going back to rookie drafts last year, people who liked Jeudy were the ones that were taking him above you know, the Ragers, the Jeffersons, like their preferred players. So you know that and you could obviously make the case for anyone drafting anybody realistically, but I feel like Judy was a guy that like a lot of people loved. You know, he was like the wide receiver 1 for a lot of people, so it might be a tough one to end up like grabbing in a trade. But if you believe in, you know, the Denver offense getting better, I think Jerry Jeudy put up a solid enough rookie year where like you could definitely make the case as a buy.
Yeah, the people that hate on Jerry Jeudy are the ones that don't have him. So what you see on Twitter is probably like a misrepresented way of what his price is. Like you'd probably have to pay, I would say, like a late first for him, which is fine. I mean, if you're a Jeudy believer, I think. But like personally, I think like when you say underrated, I mean, I think all the young rookie wide receivers that perform really well are still underrated, even though they're more expensive, right? Like IU, Claypool, like Higgins. Like I'm always down to like pay up for these guys because first year production is quite sticky for young, talented rookie wide receivers. But yeah, Nick, you're right. Like running backs are like not really attainable anymore. You know, for a while I've been saying like, hey, buy high on Cam Akers, and now like it's gotten to the point where like you can't really buy much higher. So I agree. It's a tough scene for the rookie running backs. You don't want to buy underperforming ones. Like if someone fell on their face year 1 as a running back, chances are they're just not coming back from that. So you don't want to try and go all in on the Zach Mosses of the world, for example.
What about Joshua Kelly? He had one game with like 30 carries for 62 yards.
I love that. You know how many guys in this draft class I've compared to like Josh Kelly? I'm like, yeah, they're like
there's so many.
They're like fat and they don't do anything well, but like you could put them on the field and they won't die. They won't like pass away. You know, like they'll be good enough to do that. I'm like, yeah, he's like this year's Josh Kelly. The year before that's Mike Davis. And I'm just like, fuck. That's like everyone in this draft class.
There's a lot of Jags.
Let's see. Is it too reckless to have high draft capital invested in the 2022 draft? I am not that educated in those upcoming prospects. I don't play any Devy. Sounds like Mike kind of knows what's going on.
No, I mean, it's not 2022 class not going to be as good as 2020, and you know maybe not as good as 2021, but it's still got a lot of studs, right? You got like Spencer Rattler, you got Sam Howell, which we talked about from North Carolina on the running back side. You got Isaiah Spiller, you got Breece Hall, you got really good wide receivers and David Bell, George Pickens, Traylon Burks. So like it's never a bad idea to have high capital because at a bare minimum, like. Even if they're not as good as this year, you'll always be able to flip them for great assets. Like the rookie hype machine never fails. So it's never a bad idea to have high capital as long as you're not like I'm 100% going to use these picks to draft rookies, right? You got to stay flexible. But those values will go up, man. As people start learning more about the David Bells and the George Pickens, AJ Green parallel starts getting drawn, like the Spencer Rattler, Kyler Murray parallel start getting drawn, like you're going to get a ton of hype. So I wouldn't be too concerned.
Do you think it's also changed the outlook on these prospects going back for their senior year because of what happened with COVID? Like not many guys that were notable are going back their senior year. Other than Chris Olave, I don't think I can name another player that's going back their senior year that we expected to come out as juniors.
That's wild because like going into last year, the rookie class was so strong from like a dynasty fantasy perspective, and so many guys went back to school. Like just imagine how fucking stacked that class would have been if
we could have had Najee and Etienne.
just
Tylan Wallace too.
Oh yeah, and Tylan Wallace.
Dude, I like Tylan Wallace a lot. I got him up at like my wide receiver. He might move down a little bit, but like I think I have him up at wide receiver 6. He's like my next guy.
That's where I got him too.
I actually like Tylan. I mean, the reason why he went back, you can kind of see it, right? He had an injury and he wanted to go back and like prove his worth. And when he went back, he freaking smashed. Like that's what you want to see. It's kind of reminds me of like Denzel Mims. We talked about him last year, where he went back for his senior year, but we learned that he broke his hand in his junior year, so he wanted to go back and actually do his thing. And you know, ideally, do I want that? No, but like if it does happen, I want to see like a legit reason. So like I think Justin Ross is like a great example of that too. Like you know, would have loved for him to come out this year, but he had a freaking career-ending potential injury, so it's good to see him go back, and if he dominates, like I'm going to be a big fan of him again.
DK Kwa says fuck Drew Lock. I guess it's handshaking, tripping with Jesse. Should I just cut Bell any point trying to get something for him? I mean, if you can get something for him, great. Otherwise, like I'm not going to tell you to hold on to Bell. He became like the third.
Pretty Ricky's in your league. Try to trade to him so we can stack him with Patrick Mahomes, and he'll love that.
I love that we can have like a big dogs community, like which guys to attack in trades and shit. Because everybody, it's like it's like incest. We're all in the fucking same league together. We know how people operate. Sean McNabb, what is the community not seeing in Tamarion Terry? We talked about Terry probably 20 minutes ago, so just like run back through the live stream and find it in there for a little bit. What quarterback do you think will break out this year like Lamar and Allen have done the last few years? I think the easy answer would probably be Jalen Hurts if Wentz is moved. I mean, Hurts is just going to be a dominant fantasy quarterback, even if he's not a good quarterback. The rushing numbers are going to give him a floor of 20 fantasy points per game. The guy was running like 12 times a game for like 80 yards plus.
Yeah, either Hurts or one of the rookie guys I really like Trey Lance if he gets a starting gig.
Yeah, I'm the same, but it's kind of hard because I feel like you could see that Josh Allen's on the precipice of breaking out, looking at how he improved from year 1 to year 2. And then I know, Mike, you were a little bit lower and I was a little bit higher, but I just felt like his numbers were leaning towards him improving than the fact that they added a Stephon Diggs and they had these other guys like John Brown and Cole Beasley helped a lot. And right now it's too early in the offseason to see teams making those type of moves to surround quarterbacks with pieces that could help them in the future. Like if Philly adds wide receivers and Carson Wentz is gone, I think it's going to be really easy to see that Jalen Hurts is going to be that next guy in line. Yeah,
the key thing there is I think we all underrated what Buffalo front office was doing. I mean, they did a fucking fantastic job, like adding Stephon Diggs, adding John Brown, adding Cole Beasley, like building around Josh Allen. So
we'd like said that though, like all offseason, and even the offseason before that, I remember being like, oh, they're doing such a like. Like, I think Josh Allen stinks, but they're doing such a good job building around him, and never the idea never crossed their mind like maybe it's gonna work, like
So I'm gonna be paying lots of focus to like OCs, coordinators, coaching, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Emiliano Rosales asks, if I'm in Mexico, can I buy the Dynasty Draft Guide? Yes, you can. It will just basically be it'll be an online thing. So as long as you have access to the internet, which you do because you are yelling at us on Q&Assault, you'll be able to get it. That's gonna go up for pre-order probably within the next week, 7 to 10 days, I would estimate. Who has the highest floor in the 2021 class for wide receiver? I would say the highest floor would probably be Jamar Chase or Bateman. Yeah, Jamar Chase or Bateman. Both going to get Chase is going to have the guaranteed draft capital. He's, no matter what, it's going to be kind of thrown into being the wide receiver 1 on the team that he gets drafted to. So,
yeah, I feel like any wide receiver who's really good at picking up yards after the catch and breaking tackles and does have that draft capital, like a team will try to find a way to get them the ball. Obviously, N'Keal Harry kind of kills that argument, but I feel like if you can work on your own, and the fact that he has played and dominated in the SEC, it's kind of the cop-out, but also the easiest answer to say he's the safest guy.
Let's see. Who is draftable from the Steelers, new offense coordinator and all? It's going to depend on the quarterback situation, but I mean, obviously Claypool and Deontay Johnson they actually might be like the only ones you really want to invest any sort of real capital in. The more I think about Claypool, the more I really like him. Like when the offseason first started, I was like, I'm still taking Deontay Johnson over Claypool 10 out of 10 times, but I think I would split the odds. I still really do like Deontay Johnson, but I'm getting much, much higher on Claypool.
Yeah, I'm higher on Claypool than I am Johnson. The not concerned, but the thing about Johnson for me is he was given so many opportunities last year and he wasn't efficient. That's probably worked out in the numbers because he was given so many opportunities. He is good after the catch, but I just think what Claypool showed, the fact that he does have that frame and that athleticism, and he was kind of used pretty sparingly throughout the season. I do think he has kind of untapped potential despite finishing as like a top 15 receiver last year. So
was he top 15? I thought he was like top 20 or something like that.
Something like that. Top 15, top 20. He had like a 4 touchdown.
It was pretty good. Yeah, either way, it was really good.
Will Logan Thomas be good for the next 3 years? I like Logan Thomas, man. I think he's like a really, really solid low-end tight end 1 that you can get super late in dying. People are going to be like, oh, he's so old, but he's like really not that old, and he's already proven that he can get it done on a football field. So I don't want to say he's like this year's Darren Waller, but like in the same theory, people just writing him off because he's old. Oh, they're going to add more weapons, but he's already kind of proven that he can be good. Like I'm fine with that. And, he's someone that's going to put you up some kind of floor at the tight end position, which is wildly underrated.
Yeah, both he and Hayden Hurst are going round 13 or 14 in the mock drafts we've been doing. I feel like that's just great value because last year Hayden Hurst was going at or around TJ Hawkinson value, and I think we all could kind of see that he was going to drop more than Hawkinson would, but he also didn't have like a terrible season.
What rookie prospect will be the most overdrafted? We'll kind of have to look at the ADP and see where that settles at. My first instinct would be Chuba Hubbard, but it looks like most people are kind of caught on to the fact that he's not actually that great of a running back, and he's going like mid to later second round. So I think he will probably be one of the more overdrafted ones. I think like the first round of rookie drafts this year is just really solid. Like there are not a lot of players that you could take that you're going to miss on.
I think maybe Javonte Williams, just because I'd prefer receivers ahead of him, and he'll probably go 104, 105 to a team that is desperate at running back, hoping that it's going to be the 2020 class, where I think we talked about it over text this past week. Like if we were to rank these guys in the 2020 class or just comparing them to the receivers, those other prospects are just so much safer than a guy who realistically might have the best comp of like a Zach Moss type, maybe a little bit faster, but if the draft capital isn't there, I'm not going to burn a high first round pick on a guy like Javonte.
Good job, Mike. Love that.
I agree with what you guys said.
Love
Nothing
that for you.
Scott is so disrespectful. We still feel Rager as 2021 DJ Chark. I thought you were out of here, Scott. I thought you were no longer allowed to type.
He comes in and out, and the only time he's out is actually when he pulls up his burner. I think Sam Van Cleve is his burner. How are we feeling about Troutman? Feel like he can break out this year? I mean, I feel like this just goes to show, like, okay, every year there's like one tight end in the class where everyone gets wildly high on and says it's the best tight end prospect of the last 5 years. You know, it's this year's Pitt, last year's Hawkinson. You know, there's just guys like that. And then there's always like the guys that are like, oh, it's great value in the second or third round. I almost will never take tight ends in the second or third round because they're just not as good as the first round tight ends, and they also still take really, really long to develop. So I don't know. Troutman, can he break out? Yeah, absolutely. Because Jared Cook's going to be gone, but we also don't know, you know, is it going to be Taysom Hill? I'd feel a lot more comfortable if Jameis Winston is under center for a guy like Troutman.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I think he's got a shot, though.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think
He's going to be a popular breakout candidate.
I think the best rookie tight end this year was like Albert Okwuegbunam on a per game basis, and he's not even good. So I think the 2020 class in terms of tight end talent is kind of in the dumpster. There's probably a guy 5 years down the line.
Why isn't he good? He's like an elite fucking athlete in every sense.
I mean, he caught a touchdown against the Chargers in that game that they lost at the end, so I'm just going to wipe everything he did.
Fair.
So, but he's also a guy who was like our tight end 15, and then we saw his 40, and he became the tight end 2, which says a whole lot about how bad the tight end class was. And Mike loved Hunter Bryant, and then we saw him at the combine try to like military press a blocking thing, and we're like, yeah, this guy he kind of looks like a crackhead, and he stinks too. So
I actually like Harrison Bryant though. If I were to stash someone, I would stash Harrison Bryant, and potentially Adam Troutman, just because like Saints, they cannot add anyone like that. What are they, like 70 million over the cap?
It was like 90, and now Breeze is gone, so it's going to be like 65 still, but it's out of control.
Yeah. So it's out of control. Like they're not going to add any more new weapons, and you know we thought Troutman was like pretty good, but again, like Nick said, he's going to break out this year. No, he's going to break out next year. Maybe, probably still not. But you know,
no. Probably also no. But
yeah.
DK Quas, you all know Scott's trying to sell Rager right now. Yeah, we know. We know he's pumping the market. He's the what was the hedge fund? Capital 72 or something.
Which one? Melvin,
yeah.
7.72, 72.
Some, you know what I'm talking about, but I can't like remember the name. Scott is basically the hedge fund of the big dogs stock market right now, trying to pump
Scott
up.
has like 15 Discord burners just only in the Wall Street bets, making me buy the stock so we can sell them.
Matt asks, Superflex PPR, Akers and Rager for the 108, Jonu Smith, and a 309.
Akers.
Absolutely not. Yeah, the Akers side for sure.
Yeah, Akers.
I'd
give up. Take Akers by himself for all that.
100%. Rager, not even like a problem in there. Akers is the problem by itself. Let's see. Buy Bitcoin. Thank you. Love that.
Where were you in 2013, man?
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020. It's already at a fucking all-time high. What is it at right now? 46? 47?
40, 48, 47. Bouncing between 47 and 48, I think.
Yeah, it's like 46.9.
Yeah, it's a little bit too cheap for my taste.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to hit 100, and that's when the real fucking ballers get in.
By the peak.
Let's see. All right. That'll probably wrap it up. I think that was a good run for our first time. We will be bike next Saturday. Maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need to start doing a couple of mock drafts during the week, but I don't know when I have fucking time for him. Buy Reef. Shut up, Scott. You're done. You're actually fired. All right. Okay, that's it. Yeah, so make sure you are following these two. Obviously, they're doing a bunch of Dynasty content over on the Bunk Bed Breakdowns YouTube channel. When we do eventually close these things off to the Patreons, make sure you're signed up. If you want to jump in and ask us your Dynasty questions, patreon.com/BDGE. All this shit will be linked in the description. Scott, Yannick, what is your question? You guys, not one of my question gets answered. What are your questions? I feel like you haven't. It's probably like, are you going to lick my butthole? Like, I'm not going to answer that question live on air. Winston or Hill will be to be the Saints quarterback. I think it's going to be Hill. I really do.
Yeah, I think the reason Troutman won't break out is because Taysom Hill's going to play tight end this year.
All I know is if Taysom Hill's quarterback.
Yannick probably has Winston. He's trying to sell him off of this comment.
There's always bad intent behind these live stream comments. I don't like it. It's a lot of negative energy. A lot of personal, selfish energy out here. Let's see. Yannick, that was your only one. And you didn't get an answer. You didn't get a real answer. All right, we're out of here. Thank you all. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're doing Dynasty shit pretty much all off season. Later.
Peace.